So today, boys and girls, we are once again printing, and I wanted to show you again what Andy Warhol figured out, that if he were to paint a design and he wanted to make another one, he didn't have to paint it twice. All he had to do was take another piece of paper, rub it on top of what he had done the first time, and then pull it open, and he would have a print. Now, last week we got to print some flowers. And this week we are going to be printing again, but this time we're going to be using a little bit of some new techniques. The first technique we're going to be talking about is texture. Now you'll notice I just put a little bit of paint. This is actually paint and not ink. You will know that you've used the right amount if you're like, oh, I don't think enough, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, this is good. You don't want your brayer slipping and sliding all over. Now what I'm going to have on the table are texture tools. This is just some cardboard that I'm pressing down onto the jelly plate, and I'm making an imprint into the ink. I'm actually lifting some of the ink off. This is creating texture. When I take a white piece of paper, I'm going to take that same brayer that I used to put the ink on, or the paint, and now when I pull it, you're going to be able to see that texture on your print. Once again, I'm going to use a little bit of paint. I'm going to roll it out with the brayer. I'm going to use something else. This time I'm using bubble wrap. I just push it on top. It makes a texture. I take one of my pieces of paper and I'm going to use that same brayer that I used to roll the paint. I pull my print and now I have a print of that bubble wrap. Now you're going to see me using the same color palette here, a lot of greens and yellows, but you'll be seeing in the following video that you're going to be able to walk all over the room to be able to use different colors. You're not going to be trapped in just using one color. And you'll just be sharing the same brayers and the same jelly pads. You'll walk around, there's plenty for everybody, and you'll have fun. Now here's an example where I decided that I was going to pull a print, and already I'm like, ew, that wasn't very fun. When I pull a dud like that, just put down some new paint, put down some new texture, and take that dud, that one that you're like, ooh, and just print over it again. This time I'm like, oh, I like that much better. So each time you are going to be making a background. I'm making quite a few in this video because I'm wanting to show you different types of texture. You'll be probably making 4. So you're just going to work on getting 4 prints with just interesting light colored paint backgrounds. Now I told you that we were working on texture today. The other thing that we're going to be working on is what we call making a mask. And that means that we want to block some of the ink. So now that I have this done, I'm actually going to move forward and use one last texture tool. Here I go. Doop, doop, doop. And you can use those texture tools in so many different ways. Use that same brayer, and now I have all my backgrounds. Now this is where we're going to get into masking. I'm going to switch out the paints. Once you have all your light backgrounds, I'm going to give you darker colors. And once again, you can walk around and choose whatever darker color you want. You'll stay at the table, just use the jelly rolls at the table. You're going to roll out with using your brayer. You're going to put on texture just like you did last time. But this time we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to give you the cutout of a star. That star is going to mask or cover the part of the ink that is underneath it. Now what I'm doing is taking one of my background prints that I did earlier. I'm putting it on top of the star, and when I pull it, I'm going to see the imprint. So I'm now getting to see both prints that I made. That star's looking pretty cool. Hold on to him. We're going to be using him again. By the time we're finished, he's going to be looking pretty awesome. You're not going to take that same star and bringing it all over the room. You'll just leave the star by that jelly pad so that someone else who comes over and says, oh, I'm going to use that copper, they'll just use that particular star. The only thing that travels is you. You're always going to go back and forth to your thing, to your tray, to get your background papers. and then you will walk around to different stations to make interesting jelly texture, and then using the star that's available and putting it on one of the backgrounds that you already made. Now in just a minute I'm going to explain this completely. Boys and girls, when you get up, I'm just going to show you the motion of how this is going to work. You're going to come over here, and over here are your storage trays. So you're going to find the one with your name on it. So here's Shia's. Now Shia is not going to pick up his tray. He's going to leave it there. But on his tray are some pieces of paper. He's going to take one piece of paper and he's going to leave the rest here. No one will ever access that. He's going to take his piece of paper and he's going to walk around to these tables. Now this table happens to be the one that's going to have a whole bunch of light colored blues and greens. We don't have it set up right now because we don't want it to dry. This table has a whole bunch of light colored oranges and yellows. This table has a whole bunch of light colored pinkies and purples. Shia can go to any one of these that he wants. He might say, oh, I really want this table. He's going to go here. Does he use this one, this one? He can use any one he wants. He's going to put the paint on there, roll it up, use a texture tool, put the paper down, use the same brayer, roll, pull his print. What is he going to do with this? Guess what? He's going to walk over to his tray. He is going to put this down. He's going to get another piece of paper. Does he have to return to this table? No! He can come over here and try out a color over here. All right? So Shia is going to go back and forth until his paper is filled with his backgrounds. Once he's done with that, Miss Acosta and I are going to be like, oh, it looks like you guys are ready for your dark colors. We're going to take away the light colors and we're going to put out the darker colors. Shia now is like, wait, what? I got them all printed. What am I supposed to do? He's going to take one of the ones that he printed on. He's going to come, let's say he returns over here. He's going to take a dark color. He's going to put it on here. Rolla. Texture. But this time, he's going to add on a star. He's going to put the star on. He's going to take the one he already printed, put it on. Rolla, pull. Take off the star and leave it for somebody else. Take this, put it on a sheet of paper, get another one, and go somewhere else. When we are completely finished, all of your stuff will be here. The tables are gonna be a mess. We will work together to get all the texture tools back into the big bin, to get all the paint back into the trays, and to clean off the jelly pads. The jelly pads don't ever have to leave the table. What we are gonna do is just wipe them down. So we will give you those jobs when it's time. The other thing is that we are going to be collecting up all of the stars that you guys are using. They turn out gorgeous and we're going to make a big display. So that'll be another job of being a star collector at the very end when it's clean up. So, think you're ready to go.